All right guys, in today's video, we're gonna talk about how to hit your irons dead straight. I'm gonna show you a practice station we'll use to eliminate both pulls and pushes. All right guys, let's talk about how to hit your irons dead straight. So I wanna show you a drill, a practice station that we use to correct irons that go offline, both pushes, pulls, hook slices, the whole 9 yards. I use one station a lot of times to fix a lot of those problems. Now, the purpose of this is to be used in addition to whatever you're normally doing as your block mechanical practice, okay? So certainly this is not gonna be a one-size-fits-all to fix every single swing flaw. The idea is as you're working on whatever you need to do to hit the ball better, make your swing better, you would add this in addition to that. So let me explain what this is and I'll show you how we use this. So I have on the ground a very fancy club box that came in, that golf clubs came in. So it's just a used box on the ground. Okay, any sort of box of any size, anything that just has an edge to it, that's straight up and down, any kind of box. You could use a bag, you can use a towel, anything that's outside of the golf ball. I like to use the ball boxes, or the club boxes rather, because if you hit them once or twice, there's not a lot of damage there, but any sort of object outside of the ball will be part number one. Now, in addition to that, I have a start line stick. So we have a stick from a local hardware store which is taller than normal. I don't like to use the normal sticks because they're not quite tall enough for me to get as much of the feedback. So this stick here, I'll kind of walk out so you can see it. This stick is almost as tall as me. I'm like 6'8", no, I'm like 6 foot. And the stick here is about the same as me. So what you can do is you can grab two normal alignment rods if you want, and just tape them together and put them in the ground would be fine for that. Now, the purpose of this, the box on the ground, I have the golf ball set up where it's pretty similar to that fix your shank video that we did. I have the ball set up where the club, if you can see from here, is only maybe like a finger, maybe a finger and a half away from the edge of the box. So it's pretty darn close there. The purpose of this is for swing path. Okay, I put the ball in the middle of the box. I've got about 2.5 feet of box behind the ball and in front. So I have this box tall enough, right, which I forgot to mention before. The box is probably, what are we talking there? A little over half the way up of the grip. So maybe 6 inches or so, super scientific. Just something that's in the air high enough. That's why I don't like to use a towel because it's not up in the air enough. This is about 6 inches. The point of this is this. If you, during your downswing, come too far over the top, you'll do what? Boom, you'll hit the box. If you, during your downswing, come too far inside out, and especially the out part in the follow through, boom, you'll hit the box. So the idea here is if you can get the club coming from inside the box, hit the ball, kind of working back in, it'll keep your path pretty neutral. So when we're talking pushes and pulls, we have two main factors, right? We have club path is either too far inside out, too far outside in. That's one of the things that controls direction. And the other part is club face. And that's what we have the stick for. So here's how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna walk back here. Now I have this box and this stick lined up out at a 100-yard sign out there. I put the stick, Mayor, if you can see this, I put the stick in line with the 100-yard sign where it's on about the right edge of my target, okay? So I have this set up to eliminate pushes for me. I miss the ball that pushes to the right, okay, as my primary miss, and hooks to the left, but I put this on the right edge of my target. So if you're someone that pushes, pick a target in the distance, line the box up where it's parallel to it, and you put the stick on the right edge, so I'm gonna have to hit the ball to the left of it. So when I come back, I'm gonna check those alignments and see that that stick is about on the right edge. I see my box is about parallel to my target line, okay? I don't want this box pointed way inside out like this. I don't want the box pointed way outside in. I want the box to be fairly parallel to my target line, okay? So you might have to do this once or twice to get used to it. I jack that up a little bit. Okay, so now I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna look left of this stick and I'm gonna pick something in front of me as an intermediate target that I can look at to sort of reference start line. Now I normally hit pushes and hooks, so this looks left for me. My eye line looks more to the left than I normally like to look at. It's okay, I just went back there and looked at it, I know it's correct. So I take my setup, I kind of got a piece of grass up here in front. I'm gonna start making swings. Now I have a 7-iron, I'm gonna try it with full swings. This is what I do all day. If you don't do this all day, probably like sand wedge, short swings, and then work your way up long. But let's give it a go with the 7-iron. So have my stick in, have my box in for my path. Okay, it's a little nervous. And I have my stick in that I'm going to try and hit left. So I'm going to look up to the left of the stick once or twice just to see where I want that ball to start. So let's go ahead and give this a whirl. Okay, and that started left of the stick, actually faded about 2 to 3 yards from me, which is different than normal, which is good. I went different. I'm going to do that again. Golf ball's just inside the box. Let me make sure my swing wasn't so fast I moved it. Sticks in front. And same pieces. So this is for me to eliminate the push. So I'm going to miss this. I'm going to hit it to the left of the stick. And that one I did. I kind of hit that not perfectly solid, but I did hit it to the left. Let's do that again. It's not my 2 finest shots, but it's okay. Start line is my main goal here. Let's try this one more time. Same thing, working left of the stick. That was better. Good, and that's my main piece, right? For me to hit my irons dead straight, I need to get the start line under control and the curve. Now, most of this, what I'm doing is for start line. I know I hit pushes and hooks. The first part of pushes and hooks is starting the ball too far to the right, pass too far inside out. So let's go ahead and do this again. There we go. Okay, so slight left, and then let's do that one more time. Now, in this first phase of this, I'm mostly concerned with just the start line. I can clean up the curve later. I just want to get the golf ball started left for me. So here, one more time. Okay. Now this is for someone who hits pushes and hooks the way this is set up. Now if you're someone who hits pulls and fades, this will be a little bit different. Now, I would keep the box in the same place. Okay, if I hit pulls and fades, this is still going to be good for the path part, but I would change the stick. So now, well, let's talk about twofold. Number one, if you're someone who hits a like push slice or push fade, where the ball starting to the right is still a problem, then you don't want to change this. If you're someone who hits a slice and you're cool with playing the ball curving to the right, or a fade or power fade, whatever you want to call it, then keep the stick where this is, meaning I'm not going to shift it. I'm still going to try and get the ball to start left of the stick. But instead now, if I'm going to just play my fade, I'm going to move this stick a little bit left of the target. If I play a fade, that means the ball curves to the right, right? So if the ball is going to curve to the right, then I need to start the ball to the left. So instead of me being on the right edge of the 100, I'm going to now move this stick to the left edge of the 100. Because if the ball is going to curve right, and I normally over fade it, and I'm cool with the fade, I want to now start the ball left. So I'm going to just adjust my box. I'm going to pick a start line out in the distance just a little bit left of the 100, maybe 15 feet, have my stick in line, and have the box in line. So now, in the distance, if I'm going to just be cool with my fade pattern, I'll pick something, like I said, 15, maybe 5 yards left, maybe 20 feet. I'm going to be cool with my fade. This is going to help me not overfade it. I'm going to just think about squaring the face if I need to, adding a little supination, making sure the ball starts left of the stick and allowing it to fade back. This will be pattern number one. So let's try that. Same idea, starting at left. And that was a good one. That was my best one yet. There's my fade pattern. You don't necessarily have to not curve the ball at all to hit the ball dead straight. This is more so to control your pattern, right? Meaning a little bit of curve is okay. Same thing, starting at left on purpose. Okay, so good, that's two. And as I play my fade pattern, right, ideally I'm hitting these shots where they start left, curve right, but don't finish right of the target. So they all finish at or left of the target line. Same thing, gonna start at left. Ooh, and I hit the stick. So I was 2 for 3, and that's good, we saw that, right? So I hit the stick. Like I said before, I do this all day. You don't, so you can hit the stick, right? I'm gonna just line that back up, put it in the same spot, and that's okay. I was 2 for 3. Now, what if I hit the stick? What do? I don't really do much, right? I just kind of get back in, refocus on the same pieces. I'm gonna check that stick, make sure it's left. I'll do one more, just to make sure I can do that. Box is still lined up left. I'm gonna try and hit it left on purpose. Be a little bit more intentional this time. Okay, there's my target line. Good. and that would work in my fade pattern. So again, that's for someone who curves the ball right. You're okay with curving it right, you just want to make sure it starts left enough. Now, if you're someone who pulls it, kind of a straight pull all the time to the left, then we want to adjust this, right? But I'm saying if you do it this way and you fade the ball, this might not be the best idea. This is only if you hit basically straight pulls to the left. What do we do with that? Well, now I'm going to put this a little bit more left of my target, maybe about, I might keep it actually about 10 feet, 10, 15 feet left of my target line. Good. Now, for a pull, I'm going to put this back to neutral at the 100, okay? Now I want to get the ball starting to the right of the target line, okay, if I'm someone who pulls it. So I give myself a little bit of margin of error, maybe 15 feet left of the target. My box is still going to be fairly straight, and I'm going to now focus on hitting the ball to the right of that. How do I do it? How do I hit it to the right? Well, I want to make sure my path is neutral, not over the top, and I'm going to keep my club face pretty square to my path, make sure it's not over rotating. So I'm going to give myself a little room. This looks a little tricky here to me, so let's see if I can do it or not. Okay, good. So I hit a little bit of a push there, which I wanted to do on purpose. Didn't hit my pull. And then whatever feels you need to do this, you would use these same feels for your normal swing. This isn't here. So whatever I need to feel to make the ball go more to the right, maybe the ball's more back in your stance, maybe you're swinging a little bit more from the inside. Those are all fair game here. Yeah, that was about perfect that I would look for this. And we'll do one more. Okay, so a little bit to the right. And you'll notice as you do this and you get your start line down, like your dispersion pattern is going to be much tighter. So the ball is going to be much less offline when you miss is the goal here. Now, the last one would be if you're someone who hits a hook, okay, and you, the ball curves left, but you struggle with making the ball start to the right enough, okay, which would be essentially the same pattern here as the person hits the pulls, right? So you're hitting a hook, you say, hey, I'm cool with hitting a hook. I just need to start the golf ball to the right farther. How would I do that? Well, I'd exaggerate these two pieces. Now I'd get this stick lined up where I got to start the ball, 15, 20, 30 feet to the right. I'd allow this box to be a little bit more angled to the right. Again, maybe something that's about 30 feet in the distance. If you want to play a hook on purpose, it's perfectly fine. And we do the same pieces. So this is here for my path pieces. I'm allowing that to go to the right because I'm cool with the hook. But now I'm going to focus on the ball starting to the right. So that stick puts me about 20 feet right. Again, I'm going to pick something in my distance for intermediate. Here's my hook. Make sure it starts to the right enough. This should be my bread and butter. That's the best one so far. That's a nice looking golf ball. So again, what do you need to feel like the ball gets more to the right? Well, ball more back in your stance potentially. You might just be able to do it by looking at it, kind of just visually having your eye line look more to right. And I'll say, because we're standing on the side of the ball, when I put that stick up and I look at it, that looks like really far to the right for me. So that looks, you can't see Martin Tower in the distance, but I mean, I feel like this ball's starting, I gotta look 45 degrees to the right compared to my normal to exaggerate this. So it's literally you just being up there and seeing how far right that start line is could do the trick. Ball maybe slightly farther back, face a little open, whatever. No rules here. So that again, so this is a good station for me because I hit a little draw and it just makes sure that I play that pattern. We'll do one more. So same thing, getting the ball started to the right. I'm going to cheat it a little. Start to the right, curve back. Good. So that gave me the misses that I would anticipate. I just didn't curve that one enough. So that's how I would set it up based on your ball pattern. If you want to hit the ball dead straight, okay, line this box up dead straight, line the stick just to the right of your target or just to the left of the target, depending upon your tendency. If you're someone who hits a curve and you want to curve right to left or left to right, if you want to hit a draw, obviously the ball's got to start right every single time. Put the stick on the right edge of your target for a normal draw, start it right. If you want to play a hook or a big draw, move it more to the right. You can go as far as you want. If you want to play a fade, do the opposite. Set this up, tilt the box left, put this on the left edge of the target. Make sure every golf ball starts to the left. The whole point of this really is to tighten your dispersion pattern. If you want to hit the ball closer to the hole, there's two parts, start line and curve. Get the start line piece first, work the curve off of that. That would be how I would do that for those ball flight patterns. If you have something that I didn't use, just use the straight one as a stock, but hopefully that all makes sense. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you guys like this video, please click the like button down below. Click the notification bell if you haven't. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And as always, if you guys have any questions, leave them down below.